What's going on, guys? Snag here, and it's time to talk some rugby league news. This is a new video I will be doing each week, guys, if there's good enough news to talk about. If there's nothing on, I'm not going to ramble for no reason, guys. So, yeah, let's get into it, guys. So there's two real bits of news, and also, guys, I'll be answering a few of your questions you do drop in the comments as well. I've got a few of those I will be answering too. The first bit of news, though, before we get to Fafita, I mean, Dolphins get it done against the Manly Seagulls, and Turbo goes down. Looks like a hamstring, and man, I don't know. We're about to get to Origin in a minute, but that's just huge, man. It was funny, I was watching the game. I'm sitting there going, man, there's a good rugby league team in this Manly team. There's a really good team in this team. It's just small lacks in concentration. I don't know if it's a coaching, whatever it is, but from 1 to 17, absolutely stacked. Top three most balanced teams, speed on the edges, size in the middle, veteran half, running six, like they've got it all. And they just can't piece it together, and then Turbo goes down. It's awful, man. So we'll get to a little bit more of that in a minute, guys. But yeah, absolutely horrible. But let's chat about it, guys. Dave Fafita, what are you thinking? Good move from the Sydney Roosters, or what the hell were they thinking? I mean, me personally, I thought he was going to Penrith. I thought it was a lock. When I heard Cleary had called him up and said, I'd love to have you, I thought that would have been enough to get him across the line. I mean, Penrith are going to be... The premiership window is open until at least 2027. Roosters, I mean, it's open, but they're losing a lot. They're losing a lot, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So was it the right move? I don't know. Like, financially, lifestyle-wise, absolutely the right move. I mean, 23, just turned 24 years old, millionaire living in Bondi, probably got a free house from Uncle Nick as well, not going to lie. A little bit of free rent in Bondi. Never hurt nobody, you know. So, like, good on you, bro. Get the bag. Don't blame anyone for getting the bag, man. Never will. But Roosters, just not too sure. Like, I did a shorter video on this on my TikTok, and someone said that was probably the one position they didn't need a player. If we have a look at their team list, oops. I mean, so Suwali going, Manu going, Tupou going, Kiri going. You know, I could maybe argue that don't need a front rower as much. I mean, JWH is gone, but they've still got Lindsay Collins, White, Spencer Lean, and Tyrrell May. I mean, stacked. But I mean, you look at the Roosters' second rows that aren't making the team, and he can butcher Sanili Tupanua, Sua Wong. I mean, those guys are just straight walk-in first grade players at 80% of other NRL clubs. Maybe not 80%, but a lot of NRL clubs. Those guys are strolling straight into the second row without... You wouldn't even have to, will he make the team this week? No, they're playing. So, pretty bizarre. I don't really get it. I get it in the sense that he is a beast. And his numbers is, he's only 6 appearances, 3 line breaks, 4 line break assists, 12 offloads, 97% tackle efficiency for a second rower is brilliant. Averaging 140 run meters. I mean, they're numbers, man. They're numbers. Like, he is legit. I saw people saying he's not even that good. I was like, bro, you don't make the Queensland team. You don't make the Queensland forward pack if you're not that good. I'm not a David Fafita fan, not a Titans fan, not a Queensland. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care much about him, but he can play footy, man. I can 100% see why they bought him, but just don't think they needed it. I mean, now that's another $850 gone from the cap for 4 years. Yeah, I don't know. They've still got a lot of money left. I think they said they had about $4 million, so they've spent roughly $1 million a year on this. So there is a little thing in this too, guys. So when there is a transfer thing like this, so the NRL salary cap auditors can step in and actually make the Roosters pay more, or not pay more, take more out of their cap. So if the NRL salary cap auditors come in and go, hang on, he's $1 million player, and if they'll look at his statistics and look that he's an Origin player, plays for Tonga, doesn't he? International, state of Origin player, top 5. No, he's worth 950. They'll actually lose 950 out of their cap. They only have to pay him 850, but they actually lose that extra 100k out of the cap. Bit of a weird rule, but that's the way it is. And the weird thing is, you don't find out about that until after you sign them. That's to stop players coming in on unders and just you fill your team with Origin players, and then, you know what I mean, then everyone signs for 450, you know, when everyone's clearly worth close to $1 million sort of thing. So, don't know if that's going to occur or not. I think that 850, 900, I reckon they might lose 50k. I reckon they might say he's worth 900, sort of thing. But now, as far as Penrith, what do they do? I mean, they were more looking to replace a middle forward anyway. There's a couple of players I think they'll look to target. I think it's that Mooney guy from Canberra, and I can't remember the guy from the Sharks. But if they are looking for a second rower, I mean, the Roosters is the place to look. I mean, if we come down here, I'm pretty sure both these guys are signed to the end of 2026. Atili Tupouniua and Siua Wong. Siua Wong, I think he's been at the club for a really long time, like a junior or whatever, or very, very early, signed when he was 14 or something like that. But this Atili Tupouniua, man, this dude here, like, I think they signed him on a whim. He had a real good patch, like he was in a really good purple patch of footy, 6 or 7 games, and I think they extended him and they upgraded him. Don't know what to, but if the Roosters did want to free up some more space, I mean, I'd be looking at that dude, man. Him in a good system, like, he's the sort of player that, like, you know, can't quite, you know, I mean, he's been good at the Roosters. It's not like he's been bad, but I'd say has probably underachieved since he did upgrade. He's the sort of guy that would go to Melbourne and just kill it, like Katoa and Borley sort of are at the moment. So I'd be looking at him if they are looking for another second rower. I don't know about the Butcher brothers. I think they're pretty locked in too, but yeah, Tupouniua's monster. He's just, I've always thought he'd do better at another club, like, sort of thing. So we'll have to wait and see, guys. But yeah, crazy times, man. Huge. With our old Uncle Nick doesn't miss much, man. He missed out on Gagai, and then, you know, it was funny. I was sure he was going to Penrith, but when I saw that Gagai didn't get signed, I was like, oh man. I feel like he's not going to miss twice. I feel like that's good news for the Roosters that they might get Fafita now. It was actually a little bit strange. I didn't know this because we sort of found out about Penrith first, but Roosters actually contacted Fafita first, which probably played into it. But we didn't really see that. You know, we just heard about Penrith and we're like, whoa, he's going to Penrith. But it was actually Roosters that contacted Fafita first. So just flew under the radar a little bit there. All right, on to some questions, guys. Who should play number 1 for New South Wales? It's the biggest question. It's the hottest question in the NRL with the State of Origin arena right now. Look, my theory was a little different on this to everyone else's, and I'll try and explain it now. So it's been Edwards or Teddy. I personally, and I'm not going to argue about this with anyone too much, I personally would have picked Turbo, and I know people are like, what the hell? I think Turbo's better than both, technically. I mean, not better, just I think he would suit that arena better. Like, bigger body, he's not going to get jammed in goal. Just more of a kick threat, high bomb kick threat. And sometimes you have to think, like, what would the other team want you to pick? And I live in Queensland. A lot of my friends are Queenslanders. I'm telling you, I know people in the rugby league community, and they want them to pick Turbo. They're like, please pick Teddy. The Maroons have just ate Teddy up for brekkie the last 3 years. Just ate him up like there's nothing. I do think Edwards is playing better footy, but he's very, very similar. And like I just said, Queensland have just eaten up that style very, very easily. I thought Turbo was the man. Just that other option. And Turbo does a thing too, which is super underrated. Latrell can do it as well when he's at fullback. If there's a bit of a short side, right, and Turbo swings around to the right, everyone, like, that edge has to compress in, because you're like, bro, 6'5" beast he blasts through a forward, no dramas. If he matches up in, like, inside or outside a second rower and his aim, the amount of space that Turbo creates on an edge just by standing, like, Turbo doesn't have to do anything, just stand there and it will create space on an edge. You know what I mean? So that was another big reason. If you see Teddy swing, he can be handled. And again, I hold Teddy at the highest regard. I hold Edwards at the highest regard. But just that extra threat, I really like. And this is the thing too with Origin. This is where I think New South Wales have got it wrong a lot. Gus Gould brought this thing in, and I actually think it's just dead wrong. I think it was right 20 years ago, but I just think it's dead wrong now. Freddie adopted it and used it as well. Find your best 17 players and find a position for them. Nah, bro. Let me explain something. Everyone goes, oh, yeah. So Gagai. Dan Gagai. Everyone goes, oh, man, like Origin Gagai. Gagai doesn't play any better at Origin. Let me tell you what happens at Origin. He gets picked in the position he plays week in, week out, day in, day out. Since he's been training since he was a kid. He's up until the game, he's been seeing every shape the NRL's been throwing at him. Dan Gagai, to me, is an above-average centre. He's definitely not in the bottom 50% of centres. He's definitely not in the top 10% either, though. He probably falls in that 20 to 50% range, year in, week out, year in, year out sort of thing. But the thing is, when he gets thrown in that cauldron, he knows everything everyone's going to throw at him. It's just a little faster. That's all it is. It's just a little faster. He's got great players around him that make the right decisions each time, and he just does his job really, really well. And it makes him look, not makes him look, because he is incredible. It's just easy because he does it every single week. Turbo, as great as he is, Latrell, as great as they are, they're not defending, they're not doing all that stuff week in, week out in the centres. They're not, like, Turbo hasn't seen an NRL shape been run at full speed properly in game match in since he's been playing fullback. So I don't like it. Like, I honestly, this might sound pretty weird, but I honestly think who's two good centres that aren't top elite. All right, so I'd actually rather Brabham Best on the left and Will Penasini on the right than Turbo and Latrell. I just would. I just want two guys in there that have done it every week. Like, I just would, and that's what Queensland have always done. And I just think obviously it works. Like, I'm not wrong. Like, I can't be wrong. Like, clearly it works better. Like, bro, people. I know people are going to push back on this and say you're as if you'd rather Will Penasini. Well, show me where I'm wrong. Like, it literally works every single time with Queensland, man. It just does. People go, oh, Gagai elevated. No, bro, he knows what to do in that position. Gagai can play centre with his eyes closed, with a blindfold on, back to front, half drunk, and he'll be fine. He'll get it done. You know what I mean? Whereas you throw someone in there as good as they are, if they don't do it week in, week out, it's hard, man. So that's my thoughts on that one, guys. But yeah, I'm really, I don't know now. So my answer was Turbo, but I just don't know now. Either one would be fine, but like I said, I think the way Queensland played, that rush in, crazy line speed, I think both will be neutralised pretty easily. Will the Wars make the 8? Yowza! Yowza's been following us for ages. Shout out to Yowza. Let's have a look if they'll make the 8. All right, so Warriors not going good. Let's have a look at the ladder where they're sitting now. This is the ladder from last year. So the Warriors are sitting 14th with 3 wins, 3.5 wins. All right, so to get into the 8, you're going to need... So last year, Raiders had to win 13 games to make the 8. So they're going to have to win 10 more games. Maybe they might get away with 9 because they have a bye. They've got a 1 point from a thing. So let's have a look. Let's look at their final games. See if we can count 10 wins. Let's see if we can count 10 possible wins. All right, Roosters. I actually don't think they get that one done. Panthers, you can't say that's a definite win. Dolphins, I think they could win that at home. So I'll give them a point there. Cowboys, I think they could win that too. So too, and these are just possible wins. I don't think they've been playing good enough to beat the Storm. So no, I think they could beat the Titans. Broncos, I don't. Probably not. Doggies definitely can win that. Raiders can win that. Tigers can win that. Para can win that. Dolphins again can win that. I'm not saying they will, but can. Seagulls, maybe. Let's say no, because they're going to... And then Bulldogs, yeah, they could win that. They could definitely beat the Bulldogs twice coming home. And then Sharkies, flip of the coin, maybe not. So just there, the ones I counted, there's 9 wins there. So they've got 9 definitely winnable games. They're going to have to be pretty damn good. But they can still make the 8. But this is the thing for the Warriors, right? Their goal this year wasn't to make the 8. Their goal was to win a comp or be... at least be in the same position they were last year. To me, that was the pass mark for them this year. This year isn't make the 8. Like last year, their goal was to make the 8. This year, their goal is to finish in the top 4 and push for a final spot, make a grand final possibly. So to me, if they do get these 9 wins, to me, it's still not a failure, but it would be a failure to them. Like they came into this year thinking they were going to be playing at minimum playing finals footy. So yeah, my answer is yes, they can. Will they? Maybe. And yeah, that's about it. But yeah, it's going to be tough, man. But I personally think I would back them in to do it. Just because, look, a lot of these teams here, I mean, Doggies are looking pretty good, but Cowboys, Knights, Eels, Dragons, there's no one here really pushing up into here. Raiders, I'm not saying they will, could skid a little bit. Seagulls could skid a little bit. Broncos without Reynolds, losing a lot of players over Origin. So they could definitely push up a bit. You know what I mean? It's not like everyone in here is like surging. It's only really these top 4 teams that look really solid this year. So I'd probably back them in to make it. But yeah, they're gonna have to be very, very good. And yeah, to me, making the 8, if you just finish in the 5th to 8th, I don't think you're winning the comp. So I dare say it's not looking good for the Warriors in that sense. Like they're going to be genuine contenders, because can they make the 8? Yes. Are they going to be genuine contenders? It's not looking likely, unfortunately. But hey, happy to be proven wrong, and up the wires. Last final question: are the Broncos done? Yes, they're done, son. Absolutely done. No, they're not. Like their team, man, their team is still absolutely stacked. Whereas if you look at this, I mean, look, without Reynolds, it's still Reece Walsh. I mean, Arthurs will come back. Katoni Staggs, Selwyn Coe, Mariner, Ezra Mam. I mean, Jock Madden will come into this position in a week or two. Jensen Walters, Haas, Piakura, Jordan Ricky Carrigans. I said this last week in my last video, guys. Like, sorry, guys, I keep losing the bloody... Oh, there's the ladder. I genuinely think with that roster they're rolling out, they probably beat every team here down. Raiders have just moved up here. I'm not dissing the Raiders, but I'd put Raiders in here too. I think they could beat every single team here without Reynolds. I dare say they'd be favourites against every single team along here, including Canberra, without Reynolds. So if Broncos will make the 8 if they lose to all these. Well, just pretend Raiders are down here. If they lose to all these teams and beat all these teams, they'll still make the 8. Like so, they will. Yes, they'll make the 8. They'll definitely make the 8. But again, similar to the Warriors, making the 8 wasn't the goal. It was to win a premiership. They've got a one step higher goal than the Wars, I'd even say. In my opinion, to win the comp, you have to finish in the top 4. So they'll just be hoping that they don't get gapped too hard here before Reynolds comes back. So they definitely want to be... Yeah, they definitely want to be... So it gets 1 place 4, don't they? Yeah, 1 place 4. So, yeah, you're going to want to be definitely... Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3 or 4. I mean, you're going to... Broncos really want to finish first or second because Suncorp home advantage would just be huge. Like, let's say they finish third and they've got to go down and play the Storm in Melbourne. That's a much harder ask. Or they finish fourth and say Penrith's on top or something. You've got to go down to Penrith and play Penrith for your first round of the finals. In Penrith, that gets a little nasty as well. But So yeah, Broncos definitely will make the 8. Will they make the top 4? A little less likely, but very doable still. Very, very doable. And that's it, lads. Nice and short this week. So if you do have any questions you ever want me to ask, guys, just drop them in the comments of these videos, my previews, my posts. I'll just write down the ones I like, and I'll read them out and give my take on them and all that sort of stuff. And that's it, lads. Let's enjoy the footy this weekend. Thanks you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.